Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are tackling that thing that we all, love to hate, the office meeting. But what if I told you that you can actually turn these dreaded time sinks into your secret weapon for success? Well, you can. Does this sound a little too familiar? You walk out of a meeting, you look at the clock, and you just think, what on earth was the point of that? Trust me, you are not alone. Juliet's frustration right here is a feeling shared in offices all over the world. So why does this happen? Why do so many meetings just fall flat? Well, the answer usually boils down to one simple thing: mismatched expectations. Seriously, three people can walk out of the exact same room having sat in the same meeting with three wildly different opinions on whether it was any good or not. Okay, so how do we fix this thing? We're going to break it down. First, we'll get into why we hate meetings in the first place. Then we'll cover setting the stage for success before it starts, how to navigate the conversation during, and how to make the whole thing actually matter after. Let's jump in. First up, to really get what goes wrong, we're going to listen in on three colleagues, Anil, Juliet, and Barbara, right as they're leaving the same meeting. And what they think, well, it's pretty revealing. So look at this. Anil loved it, thought it was brief and to the point. Perfect. Juliet? She felt it was a complete waste of her time, just a bunch of rambling. And Barbara thought it was great because they covered a lot of ground. It's the same meeting, people. But for them, it's three totally different realities. And this, right here, is the disconnect that we are going to solve. So where does the solution actually begin? Well, hint, it's not when people walk into the room. It starts long before that. You see, proper preparation is the foundation for absolutely everything that follows. And let's start with the real basics, the language itself. I mean, think about it. If someone says they're going to put back a meeting, does that mean earlier or later? Getting a simple thing like that wrong could mean a key person misses the meeting entirely. Clarity here is step one. It is also so important to know what kind of meeting you're walking into. The rules for an informal chat are completely different than for a formal board meeting, right? Defining the meeting type sets the expectations for everyone before they even sit down. So what's maybe the single most important factor for a meeting's success? It's the chairperson. You should think of them as the conductor of an orchestra. Without a good one, you don't get music, you just get noise. You see, a great chairperson's job isn't just to start the meeting. Their role is actually split into three critical parts. They are an organizer before it starts, a timekeeper during the meeting, and they're responsible for the follow-up after. Let's break that down. And honestly, this before phase is where the real magic happens. A good chairperson makes sure there's a clear agenda, that everyone has seen it beforehand, and that the room is actually ready to go. This prep work is what prevents those aimless, rambling discussions that Juliet hated so much. All right, the prep work is done. We're all in the room. Now the focus shifts. Now we're talking about the skills needed to navigate the discussion itself, to keep it productive and moving forward. During the meeting, the chairperson becomes a guide, a firm but fair timekeeper. They start on time, they end on time, and they protect the time in between. They make sure the discussion stays on track, that every voice is heard, and they gently steer the conversation away from those time-wasting sidetracks. This is how you satisfy both Anil's need for focus and Barbara's desire to cover a lot of ground. Now, at the very heart of any good meeting is the discussion. And look, people are going to have different points of view, and that's a good thing. The goal is never to avoid disagreement, but to handle it constructively. And how you phrase things here matters a lot. You can show strong support with something like, "I couldn't agree more," but when you disagree, using softer language like, "That's not really how I see it," keeps the door open for discussion instead of just shutting it down. In fact, here's a really powerful technique for you. It's called hedging. Instead of a direct challenge, you first validate the other person's point by saying something like, "I see what you mean, but." That simple little phrase makes people so much more receptive to what you have to say next. It's a fantastic tool. Another critical skill, actually checking that you've understood somebody correctly. Please, don't just assume everyone's on the same page. A simple question like, "Okay, so if I understand you correctly, you're saying that," can prevent a ton of wasted work down the line. It ensures alignment. So the meeting has ended, everyone has left the room, but the most important work is really just beginning. You see, the follow-through is what separates a nice chat from a productive meeting that actually gets stuff done. And the single most important output of any meeting is this right here, a clear list of action points. This is absolutely non-negotiable. An action point isn't a vague idea, it's a specific task assigned to a specific person with a deadline. It's the difference between talking and doing. And it's the chairperson's job to close this loop. They make sure the minutes with those crucial action points are sent out. And then, and this is key, they start the next meeting by reviewing the progress on those points. This creates a brilliant cycle of accountability. Okay, so we've gone from the frustration of a bad meeting to a clear, actionable plan for a great one. Let's boil this all down to your essential meeting masterclass toolkit. Your number one rule should be this: no agenda, no meeting. Simple as that. The agenda is your roadmap. Without it, you are pretty much guaranteed to get lost in those digressions that drive everyone crazy. And listen, this isn't just for the chairperson. Everyone in the room is a guardian of the meeting's time. You can and should help keep the discussion focused and on schedule. Time is the one thing you can't get back, so protect it. And finally, never, ever, ever leave a meeting without clear action points. Who is doing what and by when? A meeting without actions is just a conversation. But a meeting with actions, that's the engine of progress. So as we wrap up, I'm going to leave you with this question. Based on everything we've just talked about, what is the one single thing, whether it's preparing an agenda or just defining one clear action point, that you will do differently to make your very next meeting better? Because that's where the change really begins.